and welcome to Strictly Speaking. This is our weekly journey into sounds, speech, and language. I'm happy to welcome back to Strictly Speaking Miss Ehi Ojewa.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
Now, let's see if we can solve a few problems that we have earlier identified about learning and teaching English. Of course, you are a trainer and an English teacher, amongst other things. I don't know if you have noticed, like I have, that there seems to be some confusion between the teaching of sounds and letters.
Well, like you identified, there is a huge difference. The letters are the alphabets, and then the sounds, the phonemes, those have to do with the spoken English. So when you talk about the alphabet, that's for writing, the representation graphically. But when it comes to talking, speaking, you use the sound.
Right.
And a number of times you find out that teachers who teach English language are not so vast in terms of the phonetics, so they avoid it. And when you start to teach them, whether in written forms and in terms of spoken form, they need to know the representation of what they're talking about, what they're saying. Words, for instance, you have the vowels, the consonants, and all that. So if you tell, let's even use a very simple example. The letter A has different representation in phonetic symbols.
Right. There are many sounds.
There are many sounds.
Yes.
So when you teach the child A, you keep emphasizing on A because it's a letter. Meanwhile, at the sound level, it's a different ball game. A in a simple word like R-A-T is an R sound, is rat.
Not rate.
If you introduce an A
Yes.
and E at the back,
Yes.
it becomes a diphthong, which is A.
Yes, yes.
So how do you teach this child this basis? You find out that when it comes to now writing, reading, the child struggles because the foundation was not properly set.
Perhaps you might have one or two ideas about how children can understand some of these sounds or the differences between letters and sounds.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say that it is good to know that at that formative age, the attention span is very short.
Okay.
So it means when you're teaching, you have to come to their level and then bring it to the language they would understand.
Right.
So it means they like colorful things, descriptive things. So you need to have a lot of pictures, images they can identify with. So when you say the sound, you show them an image. At that level, they still can assimilate in terms of meaning. But when they see the image, they know that bit. And then for children, while you are teaching, you have to use different techniques that would engage and sustain their attention.
Yes.
So you play with them, you convert it into songs, sing songs, rhymes, and as you play with it, they understand it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Because you want them to like the subjects. Because a number of times, English itself is abstract, is a language. So how do I make you like it? I want to use a style and a method I know you would enjoy. Children love to dance, they love to play, so you make a song out of it. And then you play with it and you dance, and then you take it a little deeper. Let's pick the sound we just learned. Give me another word that sounds like this. And then playfully they say that. They look forward to such classes.
Yeah.
Unlike coming to teach it like a subject. They won't learn.
The almighty subject.
They won't learn that
yeah.
way. So that's one of the problems.
Okay, now, but as children grow and they become maybe early teens, the way that they're going to be taught this same subject is going to be different.
Definitely.
What kind of methods can we adopt to help them learn, especially those who perhaps did not have the opportunity when they were much younger?
We're looking for ways to get students, pupils, let's say in the primary school, for instance, to enjoy the subject. So now, for the primary school, they get to what style am I going to use to get them to build words? So we want to have engagement, interactions. We want to discuss, talk. So you choose subjects they identify with, and then you make them talk about it. Rhymes, tongue twisters, depends on the level, the grade they're in. But as you teach them at that level, you find out that There are also ways you make them engage in interactions because as they talk, it improves their ability to speak. Now, we have spelling bees.
Yes, I was actually going to come to that because there are a lot of activities that I'm aware used to happen in schools.
Drama, role playing, and all that. I think that's one thing that should be introduced.
Or reintroduced, because I know that it used to be very popular.
The teachers have to consider it a part of the lesson, a part of the class. It's a way to get them to learn the words, spell the words. We find out nowadays people are lazy in spelling. We have the smartphones.
But there's also something else that I've noticed. I mean, when you use a computer, for instance, many a time the words are spelt the American way, okay? So it's English quite all right, but American spellings as opposed to English spellings.
Let's say the word color, C-O-L-O-R, that's how American is spelled.
Yes, you're
English
right.
is C-O-L-O-U-R.
Right.
So you let them know the difference in, I mean English, they have Nigerian English, they have American English, but the standard English, as we know, is the RP is the English. So what happens is we use that as a standard. So they need to learn those things. Debate, for instance, it helps the mastering of the word. It helps them put it in practice. You won't know how much of the English language you have or you know until you're told to make a sentence or talk for 5 minutes. You realize you're stuttering. And everybody can learn. Some people have the gifts. They're naturally fluent. They will speak. But then what is the content of what you're saying? It's not about the words now. How would you constructively put those words together, make sense, and at the same time sustain attention and be able to communicate?
So it's clear from what you've said that the effort that has to be made is to make the subject come alive. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for having me.
Well, we've spent all this time talking about the English language, but we're still going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to take a little step further because after the break, it'll be time for Language Police.